Hello, welcome back to the HCCTV Student Lounge. This is a show done by HCC students for HCC students to give you opinions in news, entertainment, and what's going on in school. So as you probably noticed, the background's a little bit different, and that's because I'm in Florida and I have an interview at Radio Florida, Brazil, and it's going to be in a few minutes, and they were nice enough to let me stay here and do the Student Lounge too. So sorry about that. I hope you guys like it, and now let's move on. What's up, Carolina?
Hey guys, so good to see you. Nice, congratulations on that interview that you're gonna have. Now we're also joined today by Josh, Chaz, and Eric. And actually today is Eric's last show. And I want to take a time to thank you, Eric, for all your help and all your great ideas, which help us deliver excellent content in each of our shows. It's very much appreciated, and we'll miss you on our next season. Now, today we will also have a very special guest, Valmir Nazifi, who is here to talk about fireworks. And as I mentioned, this is going to be our last show for the summer, but please stay tuned because we're going to come back with a new look by August. So come back and check us for the fall. But first, let's move into some interesting facts for this summer edition. Now, as you may know, we're close to the 4th of July, and I just want to tell you a little bit about the history of the fireworks as the American Pyrotechnics Association has it. So many historians believe that fireworks originally were developed in the 2nd century BC in ancient China. And it is believed that the first natural firecrackers, that's how they call it, were bamboo stalks that when thrown in the fire, they would explode with a bang because of the overheating of the hollow air pockets in that bamboo. And the Chinese believed that these natural firecrackers would ward off evil spirits. So that's amazing. And sometime during the period of the 600 to 900 AD, the legend has it that the Chinese alchemists mixed potassium, nitrate, sulfur, and charcoal to produce the black flaky powder, and this was the first gunpowder. Now, this powder was poured into the hollowed into the bamboo sticks and later stiff paper tubes, forming the first man-made fireworks. Now, the fireworks made their way into Europe in the 13th century, and by the 15th century, they were widely used for religious festivals and public entertainment as we know it nowadays. Now, there is a very good documentary. It's called The Past Fire Full Movie. And this is the greatest fireworks documentary. It shows the pyrotechnics around the world. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Now, The Past Fire, the documentary, it takes you to 20 countries on 6 different continents to experience the planet's most amazing fireworks. And it celebrates and how they're celebrated with all the people who make them. And you can learn why everyone loves fireworks and how all the world is connected by their light, color, and sound. And you can follow the passion for fireworks and from culture to culture, country to country, and from generation to generation. Now, this is very cool. You have to check it out. But now let's begin our first topic, which makes way to a great discussion. So we're close to 4th of July, and of course, we're going to talk about fireworks. So what was your experience with fireworks? You want to start, Kyle?
Sure, Carolina, I love fireworks since I was a kid. And that's one of the memories that I have. It's every time I used to travel with my father, I used to pass by the store, and we used to buy a bunch of fireworks. And what's funny in Brazil, we can buy fireworks any time of the year. So if you want to go now and buy fireworks, you can do it, which is pretty cool. Another thing too, in Brazil, we actually use more of the ones that only do noise because they're much cheaper than the one that have colors and things. And that sometimes it's annoying because, people are celebrating with just noise and it's extremely loud. And the one that I used to play when I was a kid, which honestly, I don't even know if that was really a good idea. It's called Cabeção de Negro, which is like a big bomb that you turn on and explodes so loud. You could hear like 20 blocks away. And we used to use that in all different types of toys. So we used to explode like buckets, wasp nests, and some other things like mud. We used to put mud into it and just put the thing and explode mud everywhere. So we had a really good time, and I was probably like 12, 13, which I honestly don't know if I would let my kids do that, because at this point I say, wow, what I was doing. So a little bit crazy, but I always love fireworks, and I'm so excited for this 4th of July since last year, how complicated things were. I think we have a lot to celebrate, so I'm so excited about that.
That is true. That's nice. That's nice that you mentioned that there's a lot that we have to celebrate. And in my case, I'm also very familiar with fireworks. When I was very young, all my family back in Colombia, we had the tradition to explode fireworks when it was safe, in places that are safe. And I would like to share with you guys over here in Houston where it will be the best places to watch the fireworks in Houston, because I don't have dates or anything. So these are spots where it's just in the outdoors. So it will be great to watch it from there. So the first one is the Eleanor Tinsley Park. The second one is the Discovery Green, of course. And the third one is Kima Boardwalk. And like I mentioned before, the Kima has all their restaurants open for dining. So you can go check them out, maybe in a great dinner with somebody or with your family, whoever you want to invite. Also, the Sam Houston Park, the Stud Park, the Herman Park Conservancy, and Spots Park. So those are great places. You can Google them and check if they have something special for this 4th of July.
My biggest experience with fireworks is the fact that I've always grown up with a lot of pets. And honestly, like 4th of July can honestly be a little bit of a nightmare if you're staying home, because dogs and cats do not like fireworks. It's pretty much like they're in a war zone. So it's always, want to make sure that taking care of your little buddies all the time. I know it's really fun to, like I said, to mess around with things that explode. But just take care of those that they do so much for us.
I want to speak about how fireworks and explosions work in the film industry. It's called pyrotechnics, or special effects coordination. We have what's called special effects supervisors, not visual effects, special effects. They arrange stuff like propane mortars, controlled motion picture explosions for movies like Armageddon or Bad Boys, or as we all know, Transformers. There's one man named John Fraser. He's probably retired now, but he was well known for all his movies doing special effects and explosions and fireworks. They rig stuff that for safety purposes, so it doesn't hurt anybody, to make it look like an explosion is happening on screen. Then when you edit it in the editing room, it looks more real. Usually they do it to make it a blend with that and visual effects, and it looks pretty good in many movies. A lot of movies, like for example, I think in Training Day, or maybe even AI, they all had those explosions happen in ways that blended with any kind of visual effects shot, whether it's a wide shot or a close-up shot. But special effects is an industry that anyone can kind of get into if they're interested. It's more popular in Los Angeles and New York City than here in Houston. But again, it's called pyrotechnics, very popular brand of employment.
When you think of fireworks, you mostly think of two things. You think of New Year's Eve and you think of the 4th of July. So in my instance, around the 4th of July, we'd always go over to a neighbor's house and we'd watch the fireworks display on July 4th. And one of my favorite things to do is I would like to count how many fireworks like I saw go off. And me being the adventurous 7 or so years old that I was at the time, I ended up missing the fireworks show that year because due to my own bravado, I had one of those little glow sticks and I broke it open and rubbed the liquid all over my eyes, thinking I would get like glow in the dark superpowers, something like that. Needless to say, I didn't get superpowers, but I did get a trip to the emergency room and didn't get to count the fireworks that year. Nowadays, I'm able to just enjoy the fireworks show and I stay away from glow sticks as much as possible. So stay safe out there.
Yes, well said. Stay safe out there. Now, if you can also tell us what you think about the fireworks and here in the Student Lounge, your experience with them, that would be also great. And now that we've heard from our crew, let's move on to our week's guest. So who do you have for today, Kaio?
Today I have Valmir Nazifi, and he's the co-owner and manager of Elite Fireworks. I'm pretty sure you guys already drove around Houston and have seen their store, because I've seen, and it's pretty big and pretty cool. So how are you today?
I'm doing quite well. Just we're prepping for our season, so
Yeah, I bet you're really tired at this point, huh?
oh yeah, it's usually it's a lot of chaos before the storm.
Yeah, I imagine. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, not a problem.
So to start with, tell me a little bit about you. What do you do? And I want to know more about the Elite Fireworks.
Yeah, so what I do, so I'm one of the owners. It's a family business here at Elite Fireworks. It's just me and my two brothers that own the place. What do I do? I basically, well, me and my brothers, we work really well with it as a team. My part of the job is more of the digital aspect of Elite Fireworks. So anything from the digital marketing with dealing with all the social media, handling all the inventory management, as well as all the digital designs to all of our Elite exclusive products that we make in China. So that's a little bit what I do.
Yeah, and I checked the social media, Instagram, and I was surprised for the amount of content and followers you guys have. And I think this is one of the things that make you guys stand out from the other companies, right? Because you guys are out there, you posting things, and people can find you guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It is a seasonal business. Legally, we can sell just over 20 days. However, though, we take it very serious and we treat it like it's all year business. And we try to be very engaging with our customers. So no matter what, even though we're just open such a short period, we're always active with our customers through the whole process.
Yeah, I can imagine. So can people buy fireworks before the date and maybe like reserve the fireworks and then purchase, like pick it up, or you guys deliver? How does it work?
So all the cards that you see behind, and as well as we have all the way in the back. So that kind of answers your question. So we do allow our customers to place pre-orders online, but legally they do all of our pre-orders until June 24th. We don't take any payments. So we kind of allow them as wish list. So they place their orders online and then they just come to the store and they pay, and that's part of the process. So it makes it really easy, especially because this year there's been a fireworks shortage. So just this way customers are able to secure whatever they want before coming actually in the store. So it's a very good benefit.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you said there was a shortage. Like, can you explain me why this happened? Is it because of COVID? What exactly happened?
Uh, it's multiple things. So COVID is, of course, just like with every industry, COVID is to do with everything. Just because in China, the whole world shut down because of COVID, and then it created logistics nightmare for everybody. So fireworks industry is not the only one. Just like every industry right now is shipping, has been dealing with so much delays because at the end of the day, the U.S. We are consumers, so we consume a lot of goods, and there's a lot of goods that are right now in the LA port that are just waiting to make it into the US. But so definitely it's more of a logistics due to COVID. That's probably, I would say, the main reason.
Yeah, I can imagine that's one of the reasons. And also you said about like, waiting for the shipment to come in. And I can imagine it's a different type of shipment because you got to be really careful because it's like fireworks. Anything can just explode, right?
So yeah, speaking of that, so a year ago, because in general, if you just ship a basic 40-foot containers, because all our fireworks, on 40-foot containers, depending on what industry, you could, before a year ago, you paid $4,000. Fireworks, we paid $13,000 to 15, depending on the time. But right now, we are paying an average. Our last shipment that just came a few days ago is $23,700 just for shipping. So it's been crazy, and we have to pay the fees just because we need the fireworks, and there's a shortage. So like, it either way we'll benefit from it. However, though, it's just we're having to eat the costs, and it is what it is. It's part of business.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It makes part of the business, and we need fireworks. So we got to do what we got to do to have fireworks.
Yep. I mean, there's a big demand and supply is a little bit short. So it's just, we're trying our best, especially in the Houston area, to provide the most amount of fireworks, we can. And we're pretty stocked up, like compared to other retailers. But of course, even with us, we've experienced a little bit of delay on some of our shipments, so it hurts a bit, but we're well off still for the season.
I can imagine. And you mentioned that, you know, you wait for the shipment from China. Do you guys also make your own fireworks?
Yeah, so that's something that we're actually proud of. So we're the only local company that's actually not, we don't only just sell fireworks, but we actually produce our own products. So right now we have just over 70 items that we make ourselves. And we started producing our own fireworks last year. And we started with about 30, 35 items, and it was a huge success. And that, you know, we wanted to take it a little bit slow instead of just going all in with our own products, because you got to just test out if people are, how customers are going to respond. And we got a huge thumbs up from a lot of our like pyro fans. So we went full throttle ahead with more products, and we're just excited for so many people to try a lot of our new stuff.
Yeah, I bet this is really exciting. So in my head, how do you even come up with like a new concept for fireworks? How do you even try things? You know, because today it's everything like CGI and special effects. So in my head, like, how do you throw fire on something, see what color comes out?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So right now we're actually, like I mentioned, we started creating our own brand, our own fireworks since last year. So COVID hit us when we started creating. So usually for, so we can't wait to actually go to China with our manufacturers, because all fireworks are made in China nowadays. So it's been lately, it's been a lot of just like the Zoom meetings, well, WeChat meetings with our Chinese manufacturers, and just them showing us videos of, for instance, we ask them specific effect or fireworks that we want to create. They'll come up with what we're asking, and if there's modifications that we need to make, then we let them know, for instance, because sometimes of course, if you want to perfect your art, you know, it takes time. So usually like it takes a couple of tries, or depending on some products that have taken a little bit longer. But if there are certain shots that we want to get certain effects, sometimes we have to go back and forth, a lot of trial and error until we actually get the right chemicals to get the exact effect that we are looking for.
So let's talk now about the big events that people throw. So first, are those the people, you know, I mean, corporations or the government, the city of Houston, are those the people that actually buy most of your fireworks, or you also sell to regular people like me?
Yeah, so we actually, our specialty is retail. So right now, we're still a young company. We've been in the industry for only just over 9 years. So we've been growing exponentially. We started with just one tiny stand, and now we have the big warehouse as well as 24 stands. But we focus on retail. But now that we have started producing our own fireworks, and believe it or not, like we have had the demand, not just for our retail customers, but there's other, you know, retailers that want us to provide fireworks wholesale. So we've started a little bit very selective with wholesale as well, but majority of it is our retail, you know, just regular customers.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you know, at some point, you know, when I'm really rich, I do want to have my private like fireworks session and invite all my friends to come join me. So this is really cool. And talk about that. When people want to do like big events, what is the protocol for safety? Like there's things that you need to do in order to even have like a right amount of fireworks. How does that work?
So definitely, if you're doing a big event, actually by regulation, if there's more than 50 people, any age, it doesn't matter, you do need a licensed professional to actually do the shows. So if you're shooting, of course, some fireworks in your neighborhood, you know, for your family, like something small, like fireworks that you typically buy here, that's fine. But any type of show, even if you're buying consumer grade fireworks, if there's more than 50 people, a licensed professional is required by regulations, just because the safety aspect, you know, you want to make sure you have a professional there. So if in case, you know, something goes wrong, they'll know the right way to handle. But of course, like majority of time, you know, fireworks, it's very rare that fireworks goes wrong. Like as long as you do follow directions and you read all the labels and all of that, then you're, you know, if it says it's going to do certain effect, you know, you're almost guaranteed that, you know, you're going to expect what you know, what it says.
And you kind of answered already my question, but I want to see if you can add anything else to it. The next question. So what is the safest way to actually do fireworks? Because, you know, you can follow the orientation. Do you, what exactly you need to do to make sure, like, because I've seen a lot of people, they do fireworks in the hands, and I think this is not recommended at all, you know, because it can explode in you. So what little things can people do in order to actually do it safely?
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, the number one thing is read the labels. So read the direction. Every fireworks by law, there's directions on there on, you know, warnings. Of course, any fireworks should not be handled by any kids. So if there's kids, the only thing that I would recommend is maybe the pop-up snappers, the little rocks that you throw on the ground. But other than that, everything else should be handled by adults, and just make sure you read their label, because yeah, like you mentioned, besides sparklers, there shouldn't be any other fireworks that you should hold in your hand. So even sparklers, but of course, even with that, from a safe distance, because you don't want it next to your face. But just read the labels.
Okay, perfect. Eric actually wants to ask you something, so let me let him go ahead. Eric,
How you doing, sir?
How's it going?
So my question is, with all the evolving jobs right now, where a lot of jobs are being lost or disappearing because of the new online computer stuff or AI programs, would you encourage students at HCC or other colleges to get into your field of work in fireworks? Because I don't think fireworks is really ever going to go out of style. You know, it's not like, let's say, bowling or anything, because it's been around since like what, the 1800s. So it's like, I think even years from now, it'll probably still be around. So you recommend to a lot of people in their 20s or teens to kind of get involved in your field of work?
So as far as our field, especially in Texas, because it's a seasonal business, it's very, very volatile business. So for instance, the reason why all of the pre-orders, and we try to get our majority of our customers, we encourage them to come shop early, because majority of our sales, just like any other retailers in Texas, happen on the last 2 days. Majority being July 4th, or actually for New Year's, December 31st. So it's very volatile business, especially early on. You're almost guaranteed to lose money, but you gotta push through it. So it is it's not an easy business, but it is an evolving business as well, because I know fireworks nothing has changed, but even with us right now, we're actually working on some digital technology where you can view all of our products in 3D and create your own shows. So that's something that we're working on, but it's evolving, but it's still, old school, where you actually shoot your fireworks, but we're just trying to make it easier for customers to visualize their fireworks before they even buy it. So.
Also, what do you have to do to become a licensed fireworks person?
So as far as like selling fireworks, it's very easy. But as far as like getting a license to be a professional shooting fireworks professionally, it's a lot more complicated steps, because once you're licensed to to shoot fireworks, you're licensed to handle much higher amount of explosions. But as far as sales, I mean, just like any business, you're going to need to open a business account. That's step one. And then of course, after that, once you get your tax ID, your tax ID and all that, you just need a county permit. So whatever county you're looking to sell fireworks, as well as a state permit. And you are not required to get insurance, but I highly recommend you get insurance, just because at the end of the day, you are dealing with explosions. So it's a very, if not handled properly, it's a risky business, but it's good to always be covered. So those are the only things that I would recommend. But just retail wise, it's a very simple to start business. I wouldn't say nothing too complicated.
Valmir, thank you so much for your time here. But before we leave, I would like to ask you, what social medias you guys have would like to share with us?
Yeah, so we're in all of the top social media. So on YouTube, everything is at Elite Fireworks. So YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, even. We try to interact digitally with all potential customers of all ages. So just search up Elite Fireworks and on Google or anywhere, and you'll be able to easily find us.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really smart. That's you guys going far. Well, Valmir, thanks so much for being here. Now we're gonna move on to the next topic. What's going on, Carolina?
That was fascinating. Thank you so much for your time. And also, as you know, we covered things that are entertaining to watch. And our crew is going to tell us a little bit about some shows. So who wants to start?
So I'm actually going to bring it right back to the end of that conversation about having professionals be the ones who handle fireworks. I don't know how many people remember watching Lord of the Rings. I mean, that trilogy is honestly phenomenal. You got, 9 hours to kill on a weekend. Great show. But one of the very first things that happens in the little town of the Hobbits is a fireworks display where Merry and Pippin actually steal some of Gandalf's fireworks and have everything, goes a little bad. It's such a phenomenal effects that they use for this stuff, and everything looked amazing. But reminding you that it's dangerous if you guys aren't the ones in charge of the fireworks.
Very interesting, Chaz. I think for this topic, for me, a good movie to choose for myself or for you all to watch is a movie called Reign of Fire. It came out in 2002. It was directed by Rob Bowman. It basically takes place in a post-apocalyptic future in London where actually real dragons exist. It's interesting because scientists that are still alive in this world have found out that the way their fire breathing works in their body is using chemicals, all kinds of pyrotechnic type things. So the movie, every time they blow off fire, there's a kind of interesting science to it. And actually behind the scenes, the same type of techniques and special effects are used for their fire breathing, whether it's pyrotechnics or visual effects. But the movie is ideal for this topic in terms of explosions and fire because it's all throughout the movie. But there is a good story. It's not a mindless movie like a regular action movie. But it's called Reign of Fire. It came out in 2002.
One of the biggest film properties of the 21st century is the Harry Potter series. And in the 5th installment, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, there's a big scene about halfway through the movie where Headmistress Umbridge makes life at Hogwarts difficult for all the students. The school's resident pranksters, Fred and George Weasley, decide to set off fireworks in the Great Hall, and the faculty refuses to help Umbridge contain the chaos. So the fireworks are constantly going off throughout the day. There's even like a massive dragon that chases Umbridge through the school before finally exploding into a burst of colors. And I think it's a nice mixture of CGI and some real fireworks, because I know that the directors did use a little bit of both.
Thanks, Josh. Well, guys, this is a different type of ending show because this is the last show of the summer. We are planning some things for the fall, but we don't know yet where we're heading, but we definitely coming with something new and something interesting for you. And for everybody that has been watching us since the beginning, it's been a pleasure. I hope you guys had fun, learned a lot. And as always, it's time today to say goodbye. And well, I don't think I will see you next week, but maybe in a few months, okay? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Yes, well said. It was a pleasure, and I want to take some time to call out some of the people who started from the very beginning with the Student Lounge. So we want to thank Benjamin Escobar, Beth Adebusola, Vincent Kennard, Francisco, of course, our chief editor, Daniel, Josh, Andres, and also Diego. So they were a great collaboration with us. They helped us build this, and we came a long way over here. So hopefully we're gonna have fresh ideas, a new look, and some new content. So please stay tuned. And lastly, thank you so much, Eric, for all your help. You were a great addition to this show, and your ideas were always brilliant. So thank you so much for your collaboration. Now we'll see you next time on the Student Lounge.